the important thing is to get in there, get some exposure and get some opportunities. And I think probably the other thing is, working on relationships, like you're working with all of the students here and you help push everybody along and they're all working as a team, keep everyone motivated and know that, your time's coming. I told myself after 20 or 30 interviews, I was just so close to getting there, like a lot of times, and I just fell short. And I tried to make sure I didn't get discouraged. And I said, okay, everyone I fail and don't get is one step closer to the one I'm supposed to have. That's kind of how that is working out for me. And I think a lot of other folks probably are seeing the same thing. There's a lot of competitiveness and there's a lot of opportunity. So just be diligent and do your work. It'll happen. The more you delay, the longer it's going to take for you to get on your path. You have to do it and take that leap of faith and know that it's going to happen. And you have to make a decision. You have to realize that really the most important thing for you to do is to invest in yourself. And if you don't invest in yourself, then it's going to be a longer, harder journey for you. So it's definitely worth the money to get the exposure and to get the practice. It's up to you. What do you want to do? The opportunity is there. You just got to take it and run with it.
All right, so welcome everybody to one more Success Cases episode. I'm here today with Klaudio. Klaudio is one of our Klaudio Bootcamp students. Klaudio, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks for having me, Gene. Good to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit more about your story, Klaudio, so that we can get started?
Sure. I was a sysadmin for 12 and a half years and I got laid off and I was kind of struggling there for a while. I didn't start looking for a job until around August and I didn't land anything until February. So there's a lot of patience, a lot of trial and error. Things have changed dramatically for the job market as far as the interviewing process goes. And, I joined the boot camp so I could get a little more exposure to the different platforms and start to feel a little more comfortable and in hopes of landing, a cloud position or some job that's in the early stages of getting into cloud. And it's been quite the journey. And for anyone else that's still out there looking and job hunting and, just keep being persistent and be patient. And I can say that I'm very grateful that I waited to find the right job and found the culture fit for me in an environment that felt comfortable and more relaxed and very supportive. So I came from a very large corporate background and I decided, let's try something different and go for a smaller company. So I think when you get in a large company, you kind of can get typecast into a certain role and you can be doing the same type of work repetitively. And, it's easy to get stuck in there. Whereas if you're in a smaller company, you have exposure to so many more things and opportunities. So you're constantly learning something new. So I'm very grateful that I landed where I did and I got to meet Gene and everybody else on here and learn some new tools to add to the bag.
Nice. Very nice, Claudio. Very happy for you. And then when you saw myself, probably, I don't know if you saw a ad on YouTube, Facebook, whatever it is, when you saw us and you decided to join our, free training, probably you joined our free training first, and then you saw the offer for joining the Klaudio Bootcamp, right? So what was your challenge at that time? What were you looking for at that time?
I was looking for a way to make myself more marketable and for someone to take the opportunity and bring me on. And it's so challenging out there because every position is like, it almost feels like everyone's looking for this unicorn, this perfect fit with so much experience and you got to know everything. And really, I think you need to find some outfit that is going to kind of take you on and kind of mold you and grow you, so that's kind of what I was looking at. And I saw this as a way, I needed to see how the other platforms work and after going through the boot camp, you get exposed to Ansible and Terraform, and you kind of get to see some automation, and you get a little more comfortable getting in there and playing around and understanding how things work.
Nice, nice, very nice. And then when you got to know the boot camp and we made the offer at that time, we didn't know each other, right? So probably you were there watching the fit training and all of that. But what made you decide to give a leap of faith that you said, okay, so let me go ahead and enroll? What made you to trust enough to enroll on our program?
I think the experience that you guys have and your background working with lots of huge companies and getting in from Oracle and then going to the cloud and going around to different projects and things, and you really have to make a decision to make a move and go forward, because nobody else is going to really pull you along until you take that leap. So you have to take the leap, and you have to commit and believe in yourself and in the path that you're taking, and not really have any second thoughts, and just kind of go and learn and take in as much as you can during that path.
Amazing, amazing, very nice. And then you joined the Mood Club camp, all of that. You went through the program, the process, and which were the results that you see on yourself, on your career after joining and finishing the Mood Club camp program?
Kind of, kind of right now, kind of an entry point. I happen to pick a company that's in the early stages of trying to migrate to the cloud and set things up going forward. So I think that helped provide a good base and understanding of architecting, looking at different scenarios, and knowing that you can't just rely on one cloud platform. Like, let's say one cloud platform goes down, then you're kind of stuck. So we want to be in the multi-cloud, right? We want to have two clouds just in case something happens. So I think it really helped, to open up my eyes and see the functionality and the possibilities through all the different platforms.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha. That's very good. And then now, when you went through the program, all of that, and then you realized that you were going to work in a company that in the early stages of cloud computing. Do you think that what you have learned in the program is going to help you to work on this new environment, new projects? Do you think that the technical and career aspect that you learn on the program is going to help you on your new roles, and not on this one but in next ones as well that you might land?
Sure, I think so. I think there's a big chance of that. I think down the road, maybe I want to go more architecture related, and I'm kind of like the engineering type. We want to kind of get in and understand how things work and reverse engineer it. So once you kind of know how to do that, then it'll help grow you out from that perspective. And you don't really know where you're going to wind up until you start to get in, right? I'm sure you didn't join Oracle to become a DBA, and then the next thing you know, you're a cloud specialist. So
Right.
the important thing is to get in there and get some exposure and get some opportunities. And I think probably the other thing is, working on relationships, like you're working with all of the students here, and you help push everybody along, and they're all working as a team. I think that helps keep everyone motivated and know that, your time's coming. I told myself after 20 or 30 interviews where I was just so close to getting there, like a lot of times, and I just fell short. And I tried to make sure I didn't get discouraged. And I said, okay, every one I fail and don't get is one step closer to the one I'm supposed to have. So I think that's kind of how that is working out for me. And I think a lot of other folks probably are seeing the same thing. There's a lot of competitiveness and there's a lot of opportunity. So just be diligent and do your work. It'll happen.
True, true. Very nice. Really nice. And then for anybody that might see this talk, down the road, that might be on the fence whether they should join or not the Mood Club camp. Do you think that it is worth it? Do you think that it is a program that you would recommend, somebody joining? Do you think that it helped you and it can help others? What would you tell to somebody that is on the fence right now, whether they should join the Mukabu camp or not?
I'd say that the more you delay, the longer it's going to take for you to get on your path. So you have to do it and take that leap of faith, and know that it's going to happen. And you have to make the decision. You have to realize that really the most important thing for you to do is to invest in yourself. And if you don't invest in yourself, then it's going to be a longer, harder journey for you. So it's definitely worth the money to get the exposure and to get the practice, because you can go into the program and just go back and redo your work again. If you're not comfortable with something, you can go over and do it many times. You can do the labs. You can go in and start to look at the code for the Terraform or Ansible or whatever you're working on, and pick it apart and change something and see how it works. So it's up to you. What do you want to do? So the opportunity is there. You just got to take it and run with it.
True, true. Amazing, amazing, Claudio. And finally, the last question I wanted to ask you is, we know that there are so many people struggling right now to get a job in the job market, even landing a cloud position, like you're going to start working in the cloud and all of that. What would you say to somebody that is struggling like you were, a few months ago, and then now you landed a cloud job? What would you say to somebody that is trying hard but is not getting there? What would be the advice that you give to somebody in this kind of situation right now?
I think one of the hardest things is going to be to decide which platform you want to work. And I think to get in, you should really try to focus on one to be the strongest in. So that way your competence is very high versus you have four different certificates of like entry level cloud, then maybe the folks on the other end that are interviewing and screening aren't going to take that as a weighted response versus you got like an AWS certification and then you got an architect solution, and then working on your experience there. And I think the important thing is if you don't have the experience, then you go and put some of these labs in as your projects on your resume and have things out on GitHub for people to reference. So with maybe, you like Amazon more, or maybe you like Azure more, or maybe you prefer Google. I would say try to find one that's really drawing you in there and go with that first. I think it's very hard to try to be an expert on all four of them right out the bat. You're going to confuse yourself with terminology and different things. It's great exposure, but try to focus on one a little bit heavier, so you increase your odds of being more marketable and desirable from an employer's perspective.
Nice, nice, very nice. Well, so that was really inspiring, Claudio. I would like to thank you so much and congratulate you once again for this win. I know that was very good for you because we were looking for that for some time. And once again, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for your time. All right.
Yeah, thank you, Gene.
Thank you so much, and thank you for being watching. Hope to see you in the next time in another episode. Thank you so much.